Hello dear students and welcome to EduTap guys. Guys, this is the first session for descriptive English and it's a marathon session for essay writing guys. Guys, if you can hear me and if you can see me, just type yes in the chat box. And I hope your preparations are going well and everybody is giving his best for phase 2. Yes guys, if you can hear me, if you can see me, just type yes in the chat box. Okay, just let me take off my camera. Because we'll be needing complete screen tonight. So we won't be using any camera today. Hello Aditya, welcome to the session here. Hello Divya. Hello Shivam. Shivam has started straight away with a question. So Shivam, it's highly unlikely that they can ask you for a 400-word essay because in NABARD, the time for the paper was 90 minutes. But for SEBI, it's only 60 minutes. So it's highly unlikely that they are going to ask you to write an essay for 400 words. Thank you, Shivam. Thank you, Gaurav. Gauravji, you're welcome. Hello, Pavan. Good evening, everyone. So, guys, these sessions are marathon sessions for preparation for descriptive English. And, guys, we'll be discussing preparation strategy for phase 2. So, I welcome all of you. And, guys, we'll be taking any doubt, any questions, any queries if you have. And, I'll be helping you out with anything and everything that you need for this paper. So guys, hello Nilesh, hello Mohit. So guys, let's begin with the index of this session. So first of all, we'll learn about drafting an essay, right? What is the correct way, correct structure of an essay? So for 250 word essay, how many paragraphs you should make? Should you write in bullet points or not? So we'll discuss all that. Then I'll give you some tentative essay topics that you can look into to prepare for your exam. Also, I'll be sharing some important facts with you so that you can use those facts and data in your essays to cite. Then we'll also be highlighting some government schemes that you must look into for your preparation of your essay writing. And then we're also going to take some good essays and bad essays. So that will give you a good idea of what type of and what kind of essay it should be or you should provide there and what to avoid. Got it? Of course, Gauravji, thank you so much for joining in. I know, Shivam, many students were not able to, enroll in the evaluation batch nor in the live batch. So this session is for students who are preparing on their own or from any other source, so that if they have any doubts or if they are preparing independently, so we'll take up anything or any question or anything that you may ask for, and it will help you with your preparation strategy. Yes, Divya, how much mark do we need to score for? What do you mean? How much marks? The weightage of English is 1/3, Divya, and the weightage for paper 2 would be 2/3. So that would be calculated accordingly. So after the cutoff, it will add up. So both the papers are equally important. And if you ask me, more than 65 it would be, I think 64, 65, or I think more than that would be the cutoff for English. Out of 100, I'm talking about. Yes, I do remember that, Shivam, and I'll be discussing that with you in these sessions. So, guys, at the end of the session, I'll give you the essay topics which were asked in 2018. Tomorrow, Shivam, I'll give you the topic for Pressy and RC, right? It was based on economy, Shivam. Yes. Do mock test available in our course? They are available, AR. So we do provide mock test in our course. Good evening, Ashu. Good evening, Shanky. Yeah, Yamini, we'll talk about reading comprehension day after tomorrow. But for a simple, simple strategy, simple rule, for 1 mark in reading comprehension, for 1 mark you have to write 10 words. So if it's an 8 mark answer, you have to write around 80 words. If it's a 10 mark answer, you have to write around 100 words. If it's a 5 mark answer, you have to write around 50 words. So it's a simple trick to calculate the word weightage or the word limit for reading comprehension. Got it, Yamini? The best way to ordering, you can start with, I think, Pawan, you should start with the strongest question. What do you mean by strongest? Which you feel the most comfortable with. So quickly start with that, finish it off, and spend most of the time on your reading comprehension and RC. So the time breakage should be 20 minutes for essay and rest 40 minutes to read your passage, comprehend it, then make a précis out of it, and then write your reading comprehension answers based on it. So that should be your your time management. Hello Preet, good evening. All right. That's a Sanjeevani. All right. We didn't forget, we were a bit busy, Vitara, so we couldn't take it earlier. But yes, we always had this in mind. So you should, Pawan, I told you should start with your strongest answer, whichever you feel the most comfortable with. It depends on you. Got it. Any contact info for mock? You can visit our website, AR. You'll find everything there, right? Word limit for essay would be 250 words. That's what I am hoping. So guys, either it would be 250 as was in the previous year, or they can, if they really want to make it tough, they can increase up to 300, but not more than that. They cannot do that, right? There'll be 3 questions, Harshal. One for essay, one for reading comprehension, and one for précis. For RC, sorry, I didn't read your comment, Harsha. For RC, I think for 40 marks there are going to be 5 questions this time. That's what I am. That's what I assume. That for 40 marks there will be around 5 questions for 8 marks each. So you'll have to write about 80 words each in reading comprehension, right? It has to be in your own words. You cannot copy from the passage, Shanki. Right? You cannot copy sentences from the passage. They should be in your own words, but that does not mean that you have to write information which is not given in the passage. You cannot do that. You cannot include any information that is not given in the premises. So you must rephrase the sentences of the passage in your own words. That is what RC is all about. And they do not have multiple choice questions, Shanki. So you'll have to describe your answers. Yes, Aman, they'll not be able to check the content of your paper if it is checked by a software. That's not possible. There are 5 topics that are given in the exam, Preet, and you'll have to choose one out of them. Yes, there is a précis session tomorrow, AR, and then day after tomorrow there will be a reading comprehension session. Guys, there will be 3 sessions. Today is about essay writing. Tomorrow we'll discuss précis writing, and I'll tell you the difference between a summary and a précis, which is quite important. Many students still do not understand the difference between a précis and a summary. They think both are the same, but that's actually not. So we'll take up a session on précis writing tomorrow, and day after tomorrow there'll be reading comprehension sessions. Okay. Alright guys, so no more questions on précis and reading comprehensions today. Anything based on essay, you are free to ask. Yes, you can use etc. and all these words. No, it won't show spelling error. That's perfectly alright, Pooja. You don't have to conclude an essay with pros and cons. You have to give a way forward, Shivam. We'll discuss that today. It can't be different, Ekta, because that would make the exam very lengthy. So I think there'll be only one passage for RC and précis, and there'll be a 250 word essay. But the questions in RC will be, I think, more than 3. There could be 4 or 5 questions. All right. Shanky, that would be day after tomorrow, not today. So guys, let's start the session. I've read your comment, Shivam. I've given the answer. Yeah, I will discuss that, how to do that today. Okay. Any questions in essay? Rhetorical questions could be asked, Harshal, right? Rhetorical questions can be asked. For example, many measures have been taken by the government on this particular issue, but have they been able to implement them in reality? So rhetorical questions can be asked in an essay if you are putting a point through. Yes, I will give you tentative essay topics AR in this session, so just stick with us and you'll get the tentative essay topics. You don't have to count the word Shanky. There'll be a term, there'll be a word counter on the top right corner of the screen. All right, along, yes, there are tentative essay topics which we will provide in this session. So let's start the session, guys. So how many of you have, okay, let me start let me start this session by asking a simple question. How many of you still fear writing an essay on a random topic? Yes, guys. Just you can answer in yes and no. So guys, do you fear, writing an essay? And do you know what's the best way to draft an essay, a good essay, to score very good marks? So do you feel that you're nervous? All right. You have to use numericals, Pawan Kumar. All right. Manvendra is confident. Mohit is confident. Rest, you still feel a bit, a bit twitchy or butterflies in the stomach. So let's sort that out today, guys. Let's learn the best way to draft an essay and what are the requirements of an essay. So basically, guys, you have to understand the psychology behind the question, guys. First of all, when an essay is written, and if they're asking you to write an essay on 250 words, so 250 words basically is not not enough to actually elaborate a particular topic. So guys, basically what we have learned from our past experience, to write a good essay, basically what you need to show there is, or what you need to write there is, basically it should be based on facts and data. So guys, the backbone of your essay should be facts and data, right? You should let your facts and data do the talking. Basically, the best way to show the evaluator that you are well read, you are up to date, and that you have basically covered everything which is going on around you. So, and you can only prove that by providing facts, data, statistics. So guys, before you start preparing for the exam, first of all, what you need to understand is, while you're sitting in the exam, what you need to do and how do you need to prepare your essay. So let's start with that. And I know remembering content is scary, I know, Ankit, but we will learn how to do that. So guys, basically when you enter the exam, the scenario will be the first when you are drafting your essay. So you should not just look at the topic and okay. Sorry guys. There was some, I think there was some power failure at my place. So it took some time for the Wi-Fi to kick back in. Guys, is it okay now, or is it still buffering? Guys, can you hear me? Oh God. Yes, guys, I apologize for the inconvenience. So, guys, actually there was a power. All right, all right. Apologies for the for the inconvenience, guys. So, what I was saying was, so there are a few tips that I wanted to share with you before I discuss with you what how to draft a good essay and what not to do in a bad essay, or what not to do while drafting your essay, right? So basically, first is, guys, you should begin by carefully reading each of the topics, and you should carefully choose the topic, right? So what do we mean by carefully choosing the topic? Now guys, there can be, topics based on static topics, and there could be topics based on, something which is current, which is going on, right? Something which has been in the news in the recent past, that could be a topic. Thank you, Piyush, for such a spontaneous answer. Thank you. All right, guys. So you should basically carefully begin by reading the topics carefully and choose. Because, guys, they do call it descriptive English, but the backbone of your essay would be your content. And if you want to write a very good essay, very informative essay within 250 words, yeah, now you are going to need a lot of factual information, data, and statistics. So guys, choose your topic carefully and then plan your time allocation to the essay. So we've decided that we will, assign 20 minutes for our essay writing out of 60 minutes. Got it? So 20 minutes should be dedicated to essay. Now with this, within these 20 minutes, you'll have to, no, you can't use imaginary data, Harshal. You have to remember the facts. You can't make up facts there. That would be wrong. Absolutely not all topics can be backed by facts and data, Aman. But you have to choose that topic which, there'll be 5 topics to choose from. So always choose the topic on which you have the most factual information and data about. So all the topics cannot be static. Every topic cannot be this importance of religion in life, importance of education in life, right? Okay, guys, let me let me give you the topics which were given in the last 2018, which was conducted. So guys, these are the previous year topics that were given to the students to write an essay on. So first was measures to combat climate change. Now this is a static topic, right, where you could have added a few facts, a few statistics. Next, ways to improve financial literacy. Now this topic, it a lot of factual information and data can be put into improving financial literacy. What schemes have been launched, right? How to push financial literacy into the country. What percentage of people have financial literacy in the country? So that there could be a lot of data. Now sports as a career. Now this was a very simple topic where you don't need any data, right? You may use some examples, but look at this topic: risks in Indian banks. Now this topic can be provided with a lot of facts and a lot of data. And technology in daily communication, another where you can use a lot of factual information. See, Aman, that's what we are talking about here, right? You don't need to choose the topic which you find that this is the easiest to write. Always choose the topic which you find that this is the topic that I wish to write about, right? So basically, guys, you need to be very, very sure. Got it, Aman? Got your answer? So as a choice, there may be some topics which are static topics, but there will be topics where you'll have a lot of facts and data to support your answer. Got it, Aman? That handout was used last time as well, Shanki, and the year before that, I mean the previous to that, even NABARD uses the same handout. So, and they have mentioned there that this is only illustrative, this is not exhaustive. So don't think that there will be a 400-word essay there. 20 minutes should be more than enough all along. So you should be so prepared with your facts and data that it should take only 20 minutes for you to write your essay there. 250 words, Rajiv, that's what I assume will be the word limit. Probably 250 words. Maybe to make it really, really difficult for you, they may ask you to write an essay for 300 words. But what I'm expecting, it would be 250 words. Yes, at least 4 or 5 paragraphs, Shika, and we'll discuss that. Right? It's basically a choice, Akansha. If everybody would write on one particular topic, then it would be, yes, definitely it will be difficult for the evaluator to find the best out of it. But that's not none of your concern. What what you should believe in is the way you write, and what you write is impactful and informative. That's the whole key. Sir, leaving the in error. Yes, absolutely. Articles will be considered grammatical mistakes, Ankit. Right. All right, guys. Now let's come back to where we were. So you have to plan your time accordingly. Now, before you start writing your essay, guys, look at this point. Chalk out a rough draft of the essay by using what, why, how, when, where, which about the topic. So whenever you're drafting your essay, guys, you should always, many students feel that, sir, I don't know how to draft the body of the essay. So use what, why, how, when, where, right? So whatever topic you choose, you can use these questions to prepare your points, right? For example, what are the challenges what are the challenges for financial inclusion in India? Why has the government not been able to push financial inclusion into the country, right? How to push financial inclusion into the country, right? So these are some questions which will always help you to find your important points, important facets, important aspects of that particular topic, right? For example, doubling farmers' income by 2022. Why is it required? How can it be done? Right? What are the challenges and benefits? So these how, what, why, they really, really help you to uh, draft your ideas for your essay. But every essay has a different type of pattern. For example, some essays will be called for pros and cons. Some will be asked to just discuss something. So basically, you'll have to choose a pattern. So that pattern, choosing a pattern and framing the important ideas, that's called a rough draft. So select a pattern that is appropriate for each of the keywords identified and strategize your responses on a piece of scrap paper or in the margins if you aren't provided extra paper. But you will be provided a paper. So guys, do make sure that you draft your essay before you start writing, because if you try to believe that you can draft your essay on the go, right, that would be really difficult, and it would not come out as a structured essay. So always draft your essay before you start writing your essay, so that you should know how many paragraphs are you going to make, and in which paragraph are you going to discuss what point. That should be really, really clear to you before you start writing your essays. Got it? Next, guys, write out your points as quickly and as neatly as you can, and back up. Now this is a really important point, guys. Back up your thesis by using specific references to the topic that you have researched and studied. So guys, this is what we are emphasizing on now. Start collecting facts, data, statistics, reports, and schemes launched by the government, so that you can use all that information to cite in your essay. And another thing, remember to proofread your answers and edit or correct and errors in spelling or grammar. So do save time to proofread your answer. So guys, now let me come to the point where I have to discuss something very important with you. Now guys, I'll try to be bilingual, but let me give it, let me clarify it to you. So guys, I'll speak in Hindi first, and then I'll come to the English part. You know I'll work it out for you. But first, let me ask everyone, guys, एक चीज समझना है कि यार 250 वर्ड्स का ऐसे आने वाला है. 250 words are not enough to actually elaborate one topic or explain one topic. Actually, 250 words are not enough. So what to do, and the best way to save your time and to fetch more marks. So guys, the key idea here is there are 5 things that you need to mention in your essay. Number 1, data. Number 2, statistics. Number 3, facts or any specific examples. Number 4, reports. And number 5, schemes launched by the government or measures taken by the government. So guys, these 5 things are a must to mention in your essay if you really want to make it an excellent essay. Do remember that, guys. So the best way to draft your essay, to write your essay and not waste time and score well, is by including these 5 things in your essay. Now this is really crucial, guys. Reason being, facts always speak louder than words. I'll give you an example. I'll give you 2 sentences. You tell me which sounds better to you, right? First sentence is, many children died due to malnutrition in India during the last decade. So first sentence is, many children died due to malnutrition in India during the last decade. And second sentence is, 1.6 million children died due to malnutrition in India during the last decade. So yes, guys, which of the 2 sentences sounded better to you? Or you can just type 1 or 2 and also give an answer why. So guys, out of these 2 sentences, which of the sentences you found better? More informative, more reliable, more verifiable? First or second? There'll be a dialog box, Harsh, and you'll have to write your essay in a dialog box. And you don't have to write essay topic. You don't have to write anything. You just start with your essay. Just give it the number. अगर एग्जैक्ट नहीं है अभिषेक तो एटलीस्ट अप्रोक्सीमेट तो होना चाहिए, ठीक है? अप्रोक्सीमेशन कर सकते हो, नॉट एग्जैक्टली 2.57999 but 2.5 or around 2%, that is enough. So approximation is also all right. Absolutely, Piyush. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, to the smart approach to finish your essay within 20 minutes and to score very well into it. So guys, if you remember data, statistics, facts, specific examples, reports, schemes launched by the government, I think out of 250 words, I think you can write 150 words worth of or full of data statistics. So you can use more than half of your word limit by using these 5 things: data, statistics, facts, reports, or schemes. And you'll only have to write 100 words on your own. So you'll be able to write your essay very quickly. So that's a very smart approach, guys, that you should look into. So guys, I'll give you an example. Okay, just listen to this, guys. For example, if I'm writing about, let's say, agricultural economy, right? So one students believe that, sir, quotations from these important persons like Mahatma Gandhi or Jawaharlal Nehru or any such person, do you think we should quote anybody? Guys, within 250 words, you don't have enough, ample words to explain your topic. Then how can you have, how can you have word limit to write a quotation from some other person? And it may sometimes, it may backfire also. So I always say avoid quotations from anyone. So what do I mean by backfire? For example, if I'm writing about agricultural economy and if I start my essay like this, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru always believed that if the farmer of a country is poor, the country can never prosper. Now, how it may backfire? What happens if the person who is evaluating your essay, personally, he does not like Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru? What's going to happen then? Right? So basically, that's what I'm talking about. Do not waste your word limit by, by quoting someone or by using a name or something like that. Keep it punchy, keep it concise, keep it, impactful. So I'll give you 2 openings. You tell me which sounds better to you, right, guys? So listen to this. So for example, if we've chosen the topic of writing about agricultural economy of India, right? So one opening is like this. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru always believed that if the farmers of a country are poor, the country can never prosper. Full stop. Then, it is the duty of the government to support the agricultural economy and the farmers of the country to make this country prosperous. This is one opening, right? And listen to another opening and you tell me which sounded better to you, right? Second opening is like this. Even after 75 years of independence, more than 59% of the population in India is directly or indirectly dependent on agriculture sector. But the contribution of agriculture sector to the GDP is only around 16%. Now that is one sentence, full stop, and then I will write my second sentence. So that makes it a dire situation for the country to be in, and supporting agricultural Agricultural economy has become imperative now. So guys, which sounded better to you? Which opening was better, first one or second one? Absolutely. Why not, Vishal? Now I can use this fact in n number of essays, the same fact that the same data I just told you. Any essay based on farmers, agriculture, rural economy, GDP growth, I can use the same factual information in any type of essays. So that's what, you know, that's what we call smart work. So prepare data facts according to verticals, and then you'll be able to use facts and data in any essay that you may face there. Right, Piyush? So that's what this session is all about, guys. Now, we at EduTap, we aspire to provide you with that, that perspective of an answer that will definitely get you, scoring the best marks possible. And if you trust in us, then it will take you to places as well, and you will definitely come out with flying colors. Guys, that's what I'm talking about. So if you keep your essay fact based, data based, if you let your facts and data do the talking, it will have three good impacts. First, it will save time. Guys, you agree with me? Because if you already remember facts, data, statistics, examples, reports, schemes, right, it will definitely save your time. So what you basically have to do is just mention the data and in next sentence connect it with your essay. So if I'm writing about agricultural economy, so I would choose the second opening which I just told you, and then second paragraph also I would start with the statistics that the per capita income of a farmer in India is only 20,000 rupees per annum, which is 1/8 of the earnings of a person who lives in an urban area. So this economic disparity has led to the marginalization of farmers in the country, and the objective of doubling farmers' income is a crucial step in the favor of farmers taken by the government. So I would, basically try to use as much data in my essay to speak for my knowledge. So it would definitely save your time. Now, guys, it would definitely fetch you more marks because, if you write vague words and if you use data, we discussed that data is more believable, it's more impactful. So it will save time, it will fetch more marks. And third, less mistakes. That's the third catch. The point is, guys, if you tend to write whatever you believe, or if you make sentences there and you type on the go, you tend to make grammatical or mistakes or typos. But if you are only mentioning data and statistics in more than half of your essay, I think the chances of making mistakes reduce, right? So these are three very important aspects of including these 5 things in your essay, right? You only there'll be 3 different dialog box, Aditya. One under the essay, one under Pressy, and one under reading comprehension. And whatever answer you are writing, you only have to write the number of the answer. For example, there are 5 topics and you've chosen topic number 3. So just write 3 and start writing your essay. Got it, Aditya? Yes, you can use abbreviations. For example, PMJDY, right? Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, Krishi Vikas, PM Krishi Vikas Yojana, right? KVY, Kisan Credit Card, DBT. So you can use short forms while writing your essay. Yes, Vishal. Can we use points to explain everything? For example, 1, 2, 3. Ankush, it is not advisable to use points, and I'll tell you why. We are going to discuss about that in this session. Why you should avoid using points. Yes, you can use Upmanya, you can use abbreviations for government schemes. Got it, guys? So please note it down that you make sure if you are making 5 paragraphs, you add at least these 5 things in your first 4 paragraphs of your essay. So the best opening for your essay and the best body you can frame for your essays by using data, facts, statistics, reports. And I'll prove it to you. I'll give you some sample answers in today's session, and you tell me how you found that essay. Right, guys? Fair enough? Yes, expanded full form in first, instance Vishweshwar and then use abbreviations. Absolutely. So first time, for example, if it's PMJDY, so you don't need to elaborate Prime Minister, that's understandable, but you can elaborate JDY in bracket, Jan Dhan Yojana, right? So you can do that. But for simple abbreviations like RBI or FDI or GDP, you don't need to explain it every time. Alright guys. So let's start with the drafting skills of your essay. So guys, your essay is basically divided into three parts. You know that: body, which is one paragraph, that is first paragraph, where we introduce the topic. Then body, in body we make three paragraphs. We make three paragraphs discussing different aspects of the topic, and then conclusion is again one paragraph. That is last paragraph. That is your conclusion. So basically your essay should be about at least 4 or 5 paragraphs long, guys. I'll tell you which facts and data to prepare, Yamini, right? So let's just bear with me and just watch the session, guys. I think all of you are at home, all of you are comfortable. So please just bear with me, and we'll discuss each and everything from every aspect, guys. So first let's start with introduction. So guys, how should you introduce your topic, and what to what to remember while drafting the introductory paragraph of your essay. So key elements of an introduction is basically, guys, so you have to remember, begin the essay to grab the attention by providing some background information and context. Basically, guys, you must have heard the first impression is the lasting impression, right? Or well begun is half done. So guys, make sure that introduction is the strongest part of your essay. Do remember that, guys. Unless your introduction is very intriguing or very catchy or very eye-opening, it will not have a good impact. So make sure that your introduction is very powerful. So it should be explosive. The person who reads your essay, the introductory paragraph, he should be flabbergasted. He should be amazed by what you have written, right? So that should be your aim, that you should introduce your essay and very, with something which the reader, which intrigues the reader. So you have to grab the attention of the reader by providing some background information. That basically means data that I was talking about, right? "40 marks, no one is talking about it. Sir, for how long?" Ria, I think you've joined the session quite late, right? This session is for essay writing. Tomorrow we are going to have a session for essay writing, and then day after tomorrow we are going to have a session for reading comprehension. So we'll discuss about reading comprehension day after tomorrow, Ria. I know RC is for 40 marks, but don't panic. It's just descriptive English, nothing more to explain there, right? So should we also write report name? Yes, Vishal, if you have the source, please do mention it. For example, in a report by Niti Aayog, or in a report by NSSO, or in a report by RBI, you should mention the source if you remember the source. RC, I've told Vishal Gupta that we'll be taking up the session day after tomorrow. This session is about essay writing, right? Yes, schemes are mandatory, Nilesh. You must remember the schemes if you want to write a good essay. Otherwise, it's your choice, right? That you don't have to worry about that, Aman. If they have selected 12,000 students, they will definitely check 12,000 papers. So don't worry about that. We need to worry about our preparation. So guys, start your essay with an explosive opening with some eye-opening data, and then next line connected with the topic. For example, if I'm writing about financial inclusion, right? So I would not start my essay by defining what financial inclusion means. I would start my essay by an eye-opening data that even after so long, 71% of the population of India does not have direct access to financial services in the country. Now, this is a dire situation for the country to be in. Again, I just stated the data and then I connected with my essay. So financial inclusion is the need of the hour. So that's how you draft your essay, right? Keep it concise, punchy, full of knowledge, full of information, full of data, statistics, reports, so that it looks very informative to the reader. That is our whole game there, guys. So if you have not started doing that, I think it is high time you started doing that. So guys, start your essay with some background data and context connected with the topic, and that would become the outline of the argument. right? You don't need to title the essay. You don't need to title the paragraph, Shreya. You just need to write your essay in paragraphs, right? No, don't do that, Ashwarya. It's not advisable to to name any particular official while writing an essay. Essay is your flow of ideas, right? So only use numbers and data. Don't use any names. I would avoid them, right? So guys, what kind of introduction would should you write? So let's look at some introduction examples. So these are three different introductions for three different essays. Let's see what type of introduction should we provide. First, if you are given a topic about foreign exchange reserves, so let's read it and let's see what type of data and introduction we can provide there. Foreign exchange reserves in India accounted for 418.5 billion as of April 2019. With a jump in foreign exchange reserves, foreign currency assets reached 390 billion, while gold assets reached 23.3 billion. Reserves in India averaged to 221.8 million between 1998 and 2019. Foreign exchange reserves in India include foreign currency assets, gold assets, special drawing rights, and special transposition. So, guys, if I'm writing about foreign exchange reserves, so I would start with a data or a background context which shows that I'm up to date. I have read about this topic. I'm not just writing out of thin air. I'm not writing my whimsical ideas. I'm writing factual information, and that is the only way to prove to the evaluator that you are a deserving candidate for this post. Got it? Let's read another introduction. In 1950-51, the contribution of agriculture sector to the national income was 59%, and in 2004 and 5, it came down to 24.4%. Agriculture demands topmost priority because the government and the nation would both fail to succeed if agriculture could not be successful, because two-thirds of our population is dependent on agriculture directly or indirectly. So if you should do your facts and data, do the talking, do your bidding there. This is a self-explanatory fact that in 1950-51, the contribution of agriculture to the GDP was 59%, but up till 2004 and 5, it has shrunken to 24.4% only, and today I think it's only 14% or I think 16%. But around two-thirds of the population is directly or indirectly dependent on agriculture. So guys, if we use such type of data, and we can use this data in any kind of essay, guys, right? Any essay based on farmer economy, farming sector, agricultural economy, rural economy, right? Financial inclusion, whatnot. I can use this data in any type of essay, guys. Make sense? Now, guys, look at another introduction. Growth in India's financial services sector is driven by rising incomes and awareness, with India's asset management industry reaching 321 billion in February 2019 and becoming one of the fastest growing globally. India has the world's second largest internet subscriber base and is the third largest tech startup hub. Its domestic tech market is the fastest growing in Asia Pacific region. Now, India's automobile sector is expected to grow at a CAGR of 15% to reach 300 billion by 2026 and become the third largest automotive market in terms of volume. Now, this was introduction for a topic of growing sectors of India. This was a topic, I remember. This was an introduction to the topic, growing or developing sectors of India. So he mentioned good facts about different sectors of the country. So this is the type of introduction that you should strive to achieve, guys. So introduce your topic with some factual information, with some data, with some numbers, so that the person who is evaluating knows that you have actually prepared for your essay. You're not writing out of thin air. Got it, guys? Guys, if you've been writing any other way, please do start writing this way, because this will be really, really beneficial. And all the previous year toppers have also said the same thing. They have reiterated the same thing. That's that we did not write very fancy English there, but what we wrote was very, very informative, and it was backed up by data and statistics that we remembered. So that is the best way to draft your essay within 250 words. Got it, guys? So that should be your introduction, kind of like that. So introduce your topic by providing some background information, some eye-opening data. So it should be short and punchy, right? Now guys, second is the body, how to draft the body of the essay guys. Now there are some points that you need to remember while drafting the body. So there are different aspects to remember while drafting the body. So every paragraph should be a clear topic sentence. So you should provide a clear topic sentence in every paragraph which relates to the topic. Then you should also provide specific evidence or supporting detail, that I'm talking about data and facts, to support whatever you are going to write. If I'm writing about financial inclusion, then let's say if I started my essay by saying that even after so many years of independence, even only 71% of people, 71% of the population does not have direct access to financial services in the country. So this is a dire situation for the country to be in, and financial inclusion is the need of the hour. If that was my introduction, then second paragraph I would discuss that what are the challenges faced by financial inclusion. So why is financial inclusion not possible in India? So I would start in that angle. So I would again start with a fact or a data that the number of branches in urban areas, bank branches in urban areas is this, and the number of branches in rural areas is this. So this would give the contrast, and then I would say, and ironically, 73% of the population lives in villages in India. So it is imperative for the banking sector to provide an outreach to the rural economy of the country and to bring unorganized sector into the organized sector. So you should, your facts should do your bidding, not your words. If you really want to be smart and if you really want to draft a very good essay, now guys, trust me, that is the only way out. Rest, it's your call. Right, then do mention examples if you have any. Right, then your body must have unity and cohesion. You should not reiterate the same point again and again in different paragraphs. So every paragraph should discuss different points, different aspects of the essay. So for example, to form new paragraph, use what, why, how, or where, the trick. So for example, if you want to start that, what should I write in paragraph number 2 after introduction? So think about this. What are the problems? I thought it was buffering, guys. Are you guys listening? Guys, nobody is typing anything for quite long. Guys, is everything okay? Hello, guys. Can you hear me? Guys, if you're drafting your second paragraph, so ask yourself questions. On what, why, how, where. For example, what are the problems, or what are the challenges or obstacles related to the issue? Let's say if we are talking about financial inclusion, then first paragraph, the second paragraph should be what are the problems or obstacles related to that issue. I've also said the same thing, Nitin. I've also said the same thing, that you should not start with a quote. Right? Do not start your essay with a quote. Start your essay with some factual information, not quote. Any quote by Mahatma Gandhi, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru is not required. Right? Then, or if you are writing about, let's say, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, then what are the benefits of the scheme? If there's a topic about Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, then what are the benefits? Or let's say, what are the roles or purpose of a body if you are writing about any particular body? Let's say they ask you to write about RBI, the roles and purpose of RBI. So what are the roles and purpose of a body, or what are the reasons behind the issue? Right? So what can give you different angles? Then why has the problem prevailed in the country? Yes, why has financial inclusion not been able to, right, flourish in the country? What has been the problem? Right? Reluctance of the bank to outreach to the rural areas, infrastructure issues, right? High number of NPAs, low collateral, low transaction amount. These are the problems prevailed in the country. Then how to tackle them? I'm also coming to that, Rhea, don't worry. I'm also coming to the conclusion part, so we'll discuss that. Then how to tackle or how to resolve that particular problem, or how to fight the issue. That would be your next paragraph. So what are the steps and measures and precautions taken by the government on this issue? That should be your paragraph number 4. So if you're writing a paragraph, let's say to make 4 paragraphs, these should be your 4 paragraphs. What? First paragraph should be based on what. Second paragraph should be based on why. Third paragraph should be based on how. Fourth paragraph should be again what steps and measures or what schemes have been launched by the government on this particular issue, or whom to address this issue to, right, if required. But that's only if required. But these 4 paragraphs should include these 4 points. No, that's not that, Harsha. It's not compulsory that first question is essay. So after finishing essay, then you can jump to next question. No, all the 3 questions will be available to you. You can start with any question you want. You should not include any quote in your essay. Yeah, that is considered wastage of word limit. So I always say avoid using quotations in your essay. You only have to write one essay, Kamal. एक ही ऐसे लिखना है भाई, और नहीं लिखना है. Right, guys, so these are some very good tricks to get to the ideas, get to the aspects of the particular topic. So for example, there are some examples given to what to write in an essay. So for example, there was an essay about food scarcity. So the body should be framed something like this: the problem of food scarcity still looms over India. According to 2011 census, the country's rural population is almost 83.25 crore. That is 68.8% of the population. There has been wide consensus that the rural development should be inclusive and sustainable in order to alleviate the poverty. The tentative gross budgetary support (GBS) for the Ministry of Rural Development for the 12 5-year plan is rupees 44 crore 44,000 or 4,43,261 crore, which is against this crore of the 11th plan, which includes the major programs. Although agriculture now accounts for only 14% of GDP, it is still the main source of livelihood for the majority of the rural population. So if we are talking about food security, this should be a second paragraph. Informative, right, punchy, and giving the scenario, giving the reality of the situation, right. It should be 250 words, 250 or 300, not more than that, right. I think it's 250. It should be 250, but not more than that. Second, they were talking about agricultural economy. I think agricultural growth is in the recent decades has been interesting on many accounts. Divergence in agriculture income increased, specific regions being specialized towards certain crops. Total factor productivity growth decelerated in the at least in the high productivity region of the country. Such growth pattern influences employment, poverty, and equity in a region. Now, these issues related to agricultural growth would attract attention of research and development to this sector. So this is basically giving what to be done. So to make a to make a paragraph that how to tackle this problem. So this is that paragraph. Let's read it another paragraph. India has 4 of the 5 most polluted cities in the world. It's not just the air. We are badly polluting our rivers and agricultural land through the excessive use of chemicals, plastic, and careless disposal of waste. Pollution has the ability to reach massive proportions and destroy the ecosystem if we do not stop abusing natural resources before it is too late. Along with that, planning for the optimal utilization of water needs to be on top of the list, because water pollution and wastage can leave our country dry and barren in the next decade. So let's say if you are writing about a static topic like pollution, so how to fight pollution, this is again a paragraph which signifies ways to fight pollution in the country, right? Utkarsh, please read that handout carefully. That was a handout, and above that handout it was written, this sample paper is only illustrative, this is not exhaustive, right? You'll not be able to paste your essay here, Visweshwar, because you can only paste 50 words in this, so you cannot write and don't worry, because there are so many students and I can't read one essay, so I'm sorry about that. So guys, this should be your type of body. And then coming to conclusion, what should be in your conclusion? So in your conclusion, return to the theme of the introduction. So whatever you started in your introduction, return to that theme and summarize the points to support the thesis. Whatever you have mentioned in your essay, try to summarize everything to support the thesis, whatever you're trying to say. And then last line, propose either a course of action, a solution to the issue, implications upon the future, or consequences if measures are not taken against an issue. Basically, give a way forward. So solution paragraph is about giving a way forward. What needs to be done, or what can be the consequence, right, of this particular issue. So in the conclusion paragraph, you have to return to the whole central theme of the passage of the essay, then summarize everything that you have mentioned there, and then give a way forward. Either give a solution or a course of action, or what may be the consequences or implications on the future, right? Yes, you can use the mouse to move your cursor, Gaurav. Yes, absolutely, you can do that. So let's look at some examples of conclusion, guys. So what type of conclusion should be given? The recent modernization in the agriculture sector of India has increased the annual productivity a lot more than the previous decades. The Green Revolution initiative is showing good effects in India now. This agricultural development has established our country as an independent country for the necessary harvesting amount and one of the leading exporters of the harvesting products. So if you are appraising Green Revolution, this would be the conclusion paragraph. Let's read another one. In order to address the main constraints affecting the development of the nation and regional seed supplies that are mentioned above, the region requires integrated efforts by all national and international stakeholders and institutions involved in the seed supply and plant genetic resource management. On practical issues, lessons learned by some countries could be shared with other countries. Example, on how to progress with the transition or how to recognize the most immediate needs of farmers. Appropriate policies should also be established at various levels in order to facilitate seed investment and development in the region. So this is about supporting the agricultural economy. So how to conclude an essay? So you don't need to give a title to your essay, Varun. You should just start with the whatever you want to write. You don't need to title your essay. Let's look at another conclusion. Recognition of the social. This was about any particular social issue. So recognition of the social issues is the first step to find solution. Most of the issues are due to lack of awareness and could be addressed through sensitization programs from the governments and stakeholders. Since many social issues like sati, untouchability, etc., have been dealt successfully in the past, the future holds hope to deal with the current social issues. So, giving a way forward. So, always come up with a positive solution to the problem. Always give a way forward, that what needs to be done and what are the steps that needs to be taken, or what could be the implications if not if not addressed properly. That should be mentioned in your conclusion paragraph, guys, right? So guys, this was about how to draft an essay and what needs to be done. Now coming to, guys, you many of you were asking, sir, what are the important essay topics? Now guys, I cannot say one or two, but I have shortlisted a few which may be thrown at you. So just look at them and maybe prepare for them, or any of them that you find important ones. Prepare for them, and you can be prepared, you can be ready for them. So these are some important essay topics, guys. Discuss effective measures to eradicate illiteracy in India and discuss the effectiveness of these measures. So this is a very static topic, effective measures to eradicate illiteracy. So new education policy can be mentioned here. So people who think that there could be no data which could be mentioned in this essay, guys, there's always something to be mentioned. So if I'm thinking about illiteracy, the first thing that comes to my mind is new education policy, right? Beti Padhao Beti Bachao Abhiyan, Skill India Mission, right? So this, I think I remember I can cite these 3 points in this essay. Second, digitalization results in unemployment. Do you agree? Explain, right? This can be another static topic. High-rise buildings, infrastructure and environmental issues. Explain. Or write some measures to combat climate change. How can farming play its role in the same? Next, write about the role of social media in the day-to-day lives of the people. Right, very static topic. Now, India's economic slowdown, causes and consequences, current affairs. Right, now this is a topic which if you find it, you should go for it. You have so much data to mention in this. Right, so always choose the topic that you have the most knowledge about, that you feel the most confident about in terms of citing factual information and data. Next, the lasting impact of demonetization. Explain. Next, discuss reservation for economically weaker section. right? Discuss impact of e-commerce on businesses, transition to a cashless economy, explain. So these are some important topics that I found. Absolutely, unemployment has become important as a topic now. Absolutely, because it is in news these days, and a lot, not just recently. I think students are protesting a lot against it. Now, these are some other important essay topics. Challenges and implications of COVID-19 on the Indian economy. Next, direct benefit transfer, connectivity between people and government. Next, goods and services tax GST, needs and peculiarities. Impact of FDI in retail on agriculture. Next, what kind of crisis India facing, moral or economic? Could be a very tricky one. Discuss the RBI moratorium and its outcome. Discuss minimum support prices issue, which is in fire, I think, these days. Insolvency and bankruptcy code, explain. Going towards deglobalization, another factor which was in news. Artificial intelligence and the way forward. Now, another important static topic. Let's look at some other topics that may be given to you. Property card scheme is a landmark in making India self-reliant. Do you agree? Property card scheme. Now, virtual learning, e-learning or online education, opportunities and challenges. Now, next, how do FDI and FIIs play a crucial role for economic growth? Another very economic topic, economy-based topic. Credit rating agencies and their roles for quality upliftment of companies. Another good topic. RBI has recently banned cryptocurrency in India. Is cryptocurrency a need? Is the need of the hour? Is government putting too much regulations over our money? Now, this is about cryptocurrency and its prevalence. Next, disinvestment in sector like aviation and defense. Next, underemployment or unemployment, which is worse? Now, pollution due to urbanization, that's very old topic. New education policy, again very important, right? Next, guys, diluting stakes in PSUs. This is, I mean, very important considering the recent developments in this particular issue. So the diluting stakes in PSU, discuss pros and cons. Data localization in India, benefits and challenges. Now, future of virtual currency. Is India missing the opportunity? Now, women entrepreneurship in India, suggest ways forward. That's another topic which can be thrown at you. Now, contribution of unorganized sector in economy, discuss impact of lockdown on unorganized sector. Now, they can give you very specific topics like that. You must collect a lot of facts and data for this, guys. Doubling farmers' income, challenges and solutions, another important topic. Key issues in rural areas, another very static topic. Balancing development with environment, again very static topic. The issues in GST compensation may be given to you. Forex reserves for economic stimulus, another catchy topic. Absolutely, Aman, you should not take any side. You should not be pro-government or against the government. You should cite factual information. So if you criticize something without giving facts, that would be considered wrong. If you appreciate something without giving facts, that would also be considered wrong. So you should, that's why I told you, do not take any sides. Just convey whatever you want to convey with the help of facts and data that you have collected over, before the exam. So that is the best way. So guys, what I would say after all this, that salient features of an essay, first of all, would be important facts that you provide in your essay. Important data and statistics that you will mention in your essay. Important schemes that are related to that particular issue, and any valid and relevant example. So do not forget to mention these 4 things in your essay, guys. Right? These are very, very important. Got it? So conclusion of this session is basically, guys, to understand that what is the requirement of the essay. So guys, they are not looking for students who can write very good English, because they don't need your English, command of over your English. It should be decent. But what they are looking for in this paper is students who have actually thoroughly prepared for this particular essay, or they are well read, they are up to date, they know what's going on around them. So, and the only way to show this to the evaluator is by providing facts, data, statistics in your essays. So guys, right? So let me give you some important facts that you were asking for, and let's see if you can use these facts in any type of essays that you may see there. So first fact, during 2017-18, India's exports and imports stood at 303 billion and 465 billion respectively. Major items of export for India include precious metals, stones, mineral fuels, and auto components, while major import items include mineral fuels, precious metals, and stones, and electrical machinery. So if you're writing about import and export, now if you start your essay with such data, the evaluator will, from the very get-go, he will understand that the student is well read. He knows what he is writing about, and he has deep insight into the into this particular topic. So that's how you have to stand out. The only way to stand out and to be shortlisted in the top 500 out of 12 or 13,000 students. So guys, if you really ask me what to do that, how to get there in top 500, this is the requirement if you ask me. You can't pros and cons should be discussed in the body of the essay, Piyush. It should not be discussed in the conclusion of the essay. Pros and cons are discussed in the body of the essay, Piyush. In conclusion, you have to give a way forward, that what needs to be done now. Let's look at another factual information, guys, which may be helpful. India's per capita GDP, right, current price stood at $1,979.4 in 2017, growing over 36% in the last 5 years. The per capita GDP at purchasing power parity was $7,166 during the same period. So if you're talking about per capita GDP or per capita income and expenditure, good fact to cite. Another fact, guys, the employment rate in India was recorded at 93.1% during 2018, with the agriculture sector being the largest employer, employing more than 42.7% of the workforce. The services sector employed 33.5%, while the manufacturing sector employed 23.8% of the workforce. So if you're talking about, employment or employment rate or employment growth or employment slump, you can use this fact. It will be very, very impactful for your essay. Right? Yes, you do. If you remember the source, it will be well appreciated, Gauravji. If you do not have the source, then it's perfectly all right. You don't need to mention the source. But if you do remember the source, please do mention it. It becomes more impactful, right? Next, guys, let's look at some more important facts. India's retail price inflation rate rose year on year to 2.86% in March 2019, slightly above the market expectations of 2.8%. In March, the corresponding provisional inflation rates for rural and urban areas were 1.80% and 4.10% respectively, compared to 1.81 and 3.43 in February. So if you're talking about real inflation rates, so this updated information would provide you, a better outlook, provide your essay a better outlook. Or India has more than 50% of its population below the age of 25 and more than 65% below the age of 35. So that shows, this fact shows that India has a lot of human capital, young human capital. Guys, you let the facts do the talking. So guys, if you are writing about human capital, or if you are writing about, let's say employment or employment generation, so you can use this fact that more than 50% of the population is below 25 and more than 65% of the population is below 35. That means India is a young country. We have a lot of young human capital and it can be utilized, and that's why Skill India Mission, Make in India Mission, right, Atmanirbhar India Mission. So that's how you use facts to make your essay powerful, guys. Do we mention question number while attempting questions? Yes, Shivam, what dumb questions are you asking here? Honestly, Shivam, are you really bothered about these questions? That do we mention question number? Do we mention title? Or are we really worried about what to actually provide in the content of the essay? Yes, guys. Next fact. Growth in India's gross value added, GVA, was anticipated at 7% in 2018-19 vis-a-vis 6.5% in 2017 and 18. The GVA from agriculture, forestry and the fishing sector grew by 3.8%, while the growth from manufacturing was recorded at 8.3%. The GVA jumped to 9.4 and 8.9 for the utilities and construction sectors respectively, recording the highest jumps amongst the sectors. The financial services sector recorded at 6.8% growth in GVA. Now, India's real GVA is expected to grow to 7.2% in 2019-20 according to the Reserve Bank of India. So guys, if you're talking about gross value addition, right, so this factual information will prove to the evaluator that you are up to date with your knowledge. Got it? Yes, we will provide the PDF of this session, Akansha, on the Telegram channel. So don't worry, we'll provide each and everything on the Telegram channel. So guys, you can use that from that channel and you can benefit yourself. There are other facts as well which I wanted to share with you. For example, India occupies 2.4% or 4.1% of the world's land area, but supports over 18% of the world's population. That shows that India is highly overpopulated. Right. Now, at the end of 2001 census, 72.2% of the population lived in about 638,000 villages, and the remaining 27.8% lived in more than 5,100 towns and over 380 urban agglomerations. So guys, if I only remember this data, that's around 73% of the population lives in villages and only 23% population lives in urban area. Now, I can use this information in any essay that I have to write. So this would look better than a quotation at any day, at any point of time, guys. So do remember that factual information, data, statistics will land you good marks, and I'll prove it to you. Just give me some more time. I'll show you some sample essays and you decide for yourself. Got it? Next, India has improved its ranking on a global healthcare access and quality (HAQ) index from 153 in 1992 to 145 in 2016. Yet ranks lower than the neighboring Bangladesh and even sub-Saharan Sudan and Equatorial Guinea. So, although our global index has improved in healthcare and access and quality, but we still lag behind a lot many countries in the world, which needs to be worked on. So if I start my essay by this data and then only I write another sentence that this is a critical situation for the country, and schemes like Ayushman Bharat Yojana would be were the need of the schemes like Ayushman Bharat Yojana were the need of the hour. So something like that, right? So basically make your essay critical, punchy, informative. Let's look at another fact. As per 2018, agriculture employed more than 50% of the Indian workforce and contributed 17 to 18% to country's GDP. Now, according to latest report, agriculture is primary source of livelihood for 58% of population in India. So basically, guys, if I remember this fact, I can use this fact in any essay based on any social issue, any rural economy issue, any agriculture issue, any GDP based topic. So facts are going to be the key or the game changer in this essay, if you ask me, guys. Got it? All right, guys. Some more facts for you. Since the start of the 21st century, annual average GDP growth has been 6% to 7%. And from 2014 to 18, India was the world's fastest growing major economy, surpassing China. So if we are talking about economic growth, you can use this fact. Next, with the launch of the Make in India initiative, the country has seen a spur in infrastructure development with the growth of 5.6% expected in the sector between 2016 to 20. Growth in India's financial services sector is driven by rising incomes and awareness, with India's asset management industry reaching 321 billion in February 2019 and becoming one of the fastest growing globally. Now again, this is about national, globalization. Some topic about globalization, you can use this fact, right? Let's look at another. There were 687.6 million internet users in India in January 2020. The number of internet users in India increased by 128 million. That is 23% between 2019 and 2020. That means India is growing on the connectivity front, on the internet front. We have a lot many internet users in the country, so we have a lot more data to protect, data sovereignty, which can be given to you in this topic about data sovereignty. Why were these apps, these Chinese apps, banned by the Indian government? So every topic can use some fact or data, guys, in n number of ways. So this factual information, these data are going to be very, very important for your essay, right, guys? And some schemes that you must look into before you walk into the exam, so that you should be able to cite them wherever possible, right? Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandhan Yojana, Jan Dhan Yojana, Skill India Mission, Make in India Mission, Swachh Bharat Mission, Ujala Yojana, Atal Pension Yojana, Prime Minister Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, Amrit Plan, Digital India Mission, Uday and Startup India. Guys, I'm not asking you to remember them by heart, but you should at least know what this scheme intends to do and the basics of the scheme that you must remember so that you can use these schemes to mention in your essay. They are going to be very, very important. If you are writing about agricultural economy, so in one paragraph, you have to mention schemes launched by the government. Pradhan Mantri Kisan Vikas Yojana, Kisan Credit Card, Direct Benefit Transfer, ENAM policy, right? UPI based payments, Jan Dhan Yojana, right? And then Krishi Vikas Yojana, right? Then Suraksha Bima Yojana. There are so many schemes launched by the government which needs to be mentioned there. So do remember these schemes to use while writing your essays. Now guys, now let me show you some sample essays and now let me differentiate between a good essay and a bad essay, right? And you can decide for yourself. So let's look at some sample essays, guys. So this was an essay about digitalization results in unemployment. Do you agree? So guys, let's look at the mistakes the student has made. Now, first of all, started with an answer. Yes, I do agree with this. Now, this is absolutely wrong. You do not answer the question. You start with the, with your presentation of your idea, your version. So now he started, yes, I do agree with digitization. It was about digitalization. This is about digitization. So do not make typos or grammatical mistakes, guys. Now, digitization result in unemployment. This is wrong. Is unemployment? No. This is again wrong. Earlier in workforce, many registers are being, earlier बोल रहा है और फिर R लगा रहा है. Were being manufactured, were being maintained in physical form like hard copy. However, as time passes, many of offices, both government as well as private offices, are using the computer and internet to record their data. Now, see so many grammatical mistakes. With use of computer, data of offices are easily analyzed with single man. Right, with single man, and report are generated at a very fast pace. Data recording and maintaining of physical files provides job to middle management of firm and government organization. Another employee is used to therefore sending report based on analysis to the top management. However, with progress of digitization, these tasks become even easier and require less number of people. Don't do that, guys. Okay? Digitization with automation, robotics has removed lower level of worker in many of factory. Again, wrong. In rural India, a single kirana shop required 2 people to run the daily business activity, which is huge section of employment in India. However, due to digitization, a big shop complex of mall bazaar come into picture. In this mega shop, even very few cashier requires to run the show. Digitization has hit very hard people working in kirana shop. This is no structure of writing an essay, right? This is what you do when you do not prepare a draft before you start writing your essay. You make grammatical mistakes, you make typos, then you make shitty sentences, and this is how you score very below average marks. In factory, digitization merely, namely ERP, have reduced numbers of people. This is absolutely, this is pathetic here. This is a blunder in the name of writing an essay. But the student who had written this, he thought that he has given everything. He has thought of everything that could be mentioned in an essay. But guys, this is all notion based essay. Do not do that. This is a notion based essay. This is not required. This does not provide any insight into this topic. No factual information, so many grammatical mistakes. Now, this is what we call a poor essay. Right, guys? So make sure you do not make the same mistake of writing out of your head without supporting your opinions, without writing, without preparing your draft, and then you'll make mistakes as well. That's what we call a poor essay, right? Now let's look at some good essays. What your essay should look like. Now this is another very average essay. Let's read this one as well. What mistakes he had made. Okay, let's look at another bad essay. Late Dr. Abdul Kalam had dream of providing urban facilities to rural areas. His vision is based on on interdependence of infrastructure and rural transformation. In pursuit of his vision, government has taken several initiatives like Indra Awas Yojana, PM Gramin Sadak Yojana, Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, BharatNet, providing urban facilities to rural areas, Pura. And so let's explore the relationship between the infrastructure and the transformation. Now he starts explaining road, electricity, agriculture infrastructure, IT infrastructure, school, and what else? See, this is how he has tried to define his essay. Guys, this is not a good essay. Now, if you start with a very poor opening and then you try to fill in the word limits, if you try to put whatever comes to your mind without, you know, thinking about the relevancy of the topic, if you're talking about rural economy, so if you're writing about road or transportation in rural economy, you should give numbers. What numbers of road, exist in rural economy or rural sector, and what number of road exist in urban areas, and what is the requirement. If you're writing about electricity, talk about the number of villages which have been electrified or which have been provided solar energy to use electricity. Agriculture infrastructure, talk about mechanization, farm mechanization, pesticides, insecticides, genetic modification. If you're talking about IT infrastructure, talk about the number of FDIs in this sector and the growth the IT sector has seen in the recent past. So if you're talking about education sector, talk about the schemes launched by the government. So this is again a very average essay, which would not fetch very good marks, if I would tell you. Right, guys? Now let's look at some essays which we call good essays to read and informative. Right? So the topic was reviving the Indian economy. Let's read it and let's see what the student has written. Now, India had entered 2020 with the dream of becoming 5 trillion economy, but presently Indian economy is going through a turbulent period. The coronavirus pandemic has weakened all sectors of the economy since April. As per the growth projections by RBI as well as various international rating agencies, India's GDP growth is expected to remain in negative zone for the entire fiscal year. India's April-June quarter GDP contracted by a massive 23.9% percent year on year, the first GDP contraction in more than 40 years. India has entered a period of technical recession after GDP contraction for 2 consecutive quarters. The economy is facing growth challenges like weak demand, soaring unemployment, and rising inflation. On the flip side, there are green shoots in the economy. India's Purchasing Managers Index recorded expansion for 3 consecutive months and showed highest expansion in 13 years. The agriculture sector showed resilience by registering growth during the slowdown. There has been recovery in GST collection and auto sales. Now, he should have mentioned data to support his answer there. That's what I feel. The government and the Reserve Bank of India have taken various measures to stimulate the economy. The government announced a fiscal stimulus package of about rupees 21 lakh crore, which is 10% of GDP, which broadly covered businesses, including MSMEs, poor, including migrants, and farmers and agriculture. So, guys, if we are talking about reviving the economy, if this were the essay. Next, then what he wrote, the RBI announced moratorium for 6 months to provide relief for borrowers and under financial stress due to lockdown. RBI introduced the targeted long-term repo operations TLTROs as a tool to enhance liquidity in the system, particularly the corporate bond market. The banks availing the funds have to invest in specific sectors through debt instruments to push the credit flow in the economy. Now, RBI revised priority sector lending guidelines to include loans to startups for up to rupees 50 crore, loans to farmers for installation of solar power, and loans for setting up compressed bioplants. RBI also constituted Kamath committee to restructure loans impacted by COVID-19 pandemic. Now, though situation looks grim as of now, but more structural measures along with sector-wise revival policies can be undertaken to realize the cherished goal of becoming a 5 trillion economy by 2025. Yes, guys, how was this essay? Now, was it informative? Now, are you impressed with the information that the student has provided? Or do you still prefer writing on the basis of notions? Yes, guys. So, what do you prefer now? Notion based essay or fact based essay? Please do let me know, guys. सब पेन नोटबुक लेके लिखने बैठ गए हैं क्या? Guys, we'll provide you the feedback, feedback or PDF of this session. Don't worry. Please watch this session, Akhilesh. You will get a good idea of how to write an essay. Please watch this session again, right? So who says, Akansha, that there is a limitation for number of essays? Right? There is no limitation of number of essays. No, sorry, number of paragraphs. There is no limitation on number of paragraphs a student can write. Yes, you can use as many paragraphs as possible. That does not make a difference, Gaurav. I told you, if you're presenting something new, you can switch a paragraph. Now, this was introduction. Well said. Then coming to the point, various measures taken by the government. Various implications of this. Then one big implication was this. Then he shows the other picture, the other way around. You know, that's the other side of the coin. Then we should have mentioned one data and made it one paragraph. Then this was one paragraph. This along with the next paragraph. So this was one paragraph. Then he should have made this into one paragraph, but mentioning different points in different lines, that's also perfectly all right. So nothing wrong there, guys. You can use as many paragraphs as possible, right? So let's look at another good essay, guys. Key issues in rural areas. So guys, just think about it. If you were given this topic, key issues in rural areas, how long would it take for you to draft an essay and write an essay? Right? What issues would come to your mind? Financial insecurity, financial imbalance, right? Financial inclusion, and per capita income growth, right? Sanitization, education, literacy. So how would you fit all that into 50 words? Let's look at this, guys. Next, so read it. Let's read it and let's see how to frame essays on such holistic topics. So according to the Periodic Labor Force Survey 2018, it has been observed that 67.7% of the total households of the country belong to the rural section, which is a huge contribution to the total population of the nation. By this, we come to infer the amount of attention demanded by the rural areas in India. The country is actually aiming at becoming a USD 5 trillion economy by 24-25 from current 2.9 trillion approximately. Now, this target cannot be achieved by focusing on a handful of people. For a proper mass development, key issues in the rural areas need to be addressed well. As far as health sector is concerned, we need to focus on more inclusivity, as the death rate in rural areas is observed to be 6.7, which is more than the average death rate of the country. The reason can be attributed to growing sufferers of malnutrition, underweight, stunting and wasting. The current pandemic brought before us the concept of digital divide that prevailed in the education and literacy sector. This is actually proven by the recent annual State of Education report that concluded that only 11% of students in the rural areas had access to online education. Unreachability of the financial products like banking, insurance, leasing, factoring, etc. contributes to the financial exclusion and binds the rural population to rely on private money lenders. Limited opportunities for non-agricultural occupation, especially for women, brings monotony, kills the scope for innovation and eagerness to grow and create more. In India, 53.2% of the rural males and 71.1% of the rural women are still engaged in agriculture sector. The credits for making India the fastest growing economy go to certain public initiatives. Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, focusing on providing rural connectivity, has been allocated 19,500 crores this year. Manrega has broken roofs in contributing towards employment generation for the rural during the pandemic. Swachh Bharat Mission is an essential contribution to increase the reach of basic amenities to all households. In brief, bringing the rural section up to the required standards is not a cakewalk, but it is not even a sky-high challenge. If we keep moving with our baby steps and keep addressing the rural issues with enthusiasm, we have come quite far, and with 3 P's, patience, persistence and positivity, the rest of the journey can be covered. Yes, guys. How was this essay? Key issues in rural areas, right? Yes, how to switch paragraphs after full stop, Shanky. Press space and then enter. Will give you a long space, not long space. It will switch the paragraph. So after space, press enter, then you will go to the next line. Yes, that could also be done. Like Piyush in this paragraph, he introduced with the criticality, then covered everything in one paragraph, then schemes launched by the government, and then a way forward. So proper structure of an essay. Right. So guys, you can see what type of essay students are writing and what level of essays they are already preparing for. And you have to work in the same direction. Right. Absolutely. So let's read another one, guys. Let's look at another one. Forex reserves for economic stimulus. For example, this topic was there. And if you start writing about this, so what type of essay should be given? As per RBI's weekly statistical supplement published in December 2020, India's forex reserves stand at around $585 billion, the highest ever. Foreign exchange reserves are assets denominated in foreign currency held by the central bank of the nation. This unprecedented rise can be attributed to two significant reasons. One being the surge in investments by foreign institutions, investors, FIIs, and other being India's savings from oil imports. While the former is due to reduced rate of interest by RBI measures for economic recovery, the latter caters to epic global fall in oil prices. Now, despite having sufficient credit line from the IMF, question arises as to why the Indian government with the central bank is on a piling spree of forex reserves. Due to accelerated budgetary spending in the fiscal year citing COVID-19, there may be an anticipation of economic contingency. Other reasons include to ensure stability of rupee, fiscal deficit financing, which is current value 6.3% of GDP, and maintain global ratings. But if the government carries an ulterior motive to use it for economic stimulus, that may not be a good choice. Now, guys, do not be very, do not give your opinions. I would not suggest this. So, you should have given, it should be avoided or it can be avoided, but don't be very, don't be very open with your opinions. That may not be a good choice. Don't do that. He should have written, but if the government carries an ulterior motive to use it for economic stimulus, which should be avoided at the end of the day. So that could have been, a subtle way of presenting your opinion. But, you should not, by the way. Next, economic stimulus for any country cannot be on the grounds of high forex reserves. They are hot money, nature being one of the risk-bearing prominent characteristics. As in India's case, for every dollar RBI has purchased, it had to increase the liability side with the amount in Indian rupee. Thus, no additional currency can be printed against such already acquired reserves. Structural reforms can be pivotal here. The government can only finance its expenditure through three means, namely tax, debt, and asset sales. Now, although high foreign exchange reserves are beneficial for the economic growth or economic health of the country, especially after COVID-19, using the same for economic stimulus is not feasible. It's imperative to stop harboring the notion of paying stimulus bill without deterred finances. As it is well said, there is no such thing as free lunch. Yes, guys, how was this? So, forex reserves for economic stimulus. Yes, guys. How did you find this essay? Good, bad, average? I think it was a bit elaborative, but he could have mentioned a few more facts and data if if possible. But otherwise, it was a great essay. Nonetheless, it was very well written, very well thought, very well drafted, very well framed. I know he was taking one side, but I think he has also given the other angle as well. Devashish, so that's why I've told you, do not make opinions, do not give your own opinions into your essay. Just keep it informative so that you do not fall into the dilemma of, okay, is it good or bad? So don't go into that. Just prove, whatever information you have, right? All right, guys, let's look at another one. Reviving the Indian economy. Okay. As per the recent RBI report, India's GDP will contract to 9.5% in FY21. This is a blow to the economy, considering the economic slowdown India currently faces. In the pre-COVID era, also Indian economy was in a slowdown. COVID worsened the situation. After liberalization in the 90s, economy started to grow than before. Uh, grow higher. I think this was wrong. But there has been times the economy was in recession. A better economic growth is necessary for a developing country to prosper. This can create huge employment opportunities, standard of living of people, new investments in the country, which spurs every sectors. Okay. Government is doing the best possible to revive the economy. Stricter regulations have been eased and non-business friendly approach has changed in the recent years, guys. Now, if you do that, stricter regulations have been eased. What are you referring to? Without mentioning any, condensed fact, any solid data, this is all pointless. So try to avoid such type of essays. Don't make it notion based essays, make it fact based essays. Now writing such an essay would have taken such long, but if you had provided facts and data to support your notions, that would have saved your time and fetch you more marks. Next, India has improved in the ease of doing business rankings published by the World Bank. Prime Minister himself assures about the prospects of investing in India. Financial inclusion and collateral-free loans have helped the domestic markets to spur. Amendments were made in labor laws to enhance cooperative investments. In addition to it, laws and files that are to be complied at each stage of business has been made comprehensive and in digital format. Now, this is very informative but lacking backbone, lacking supportive data, supportive fact. Now focus must be given to startups. Lack of fund at the initial stages are its main problem, but giving tax exemptions and other fundraising options can help them spur. Now he has used the same word third time in this essay. Don't do that, guys. Okay? Please be careful about repetition. India has seen 7 unicorn startups, and it will have almost 100 startups by 2050, which can help economy a lot. This the right time. Now this is what you see when you do not proofread your essay. This is the right time to catch the ball, as digitization and arrival of Industry 5.0 concept is favorable to our country's infrastructure and skill sets. Digital India, Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat are some of such initiatives. Very well done. Such reforms can help India become the third largest economy by 2050, according to a study by Lancet. India is rich in population but with huge potential and skills. Rich in population with huge potential and skills. And if these changes reach the bottommost level of every individual who aspires big, it can be boom. I think it should be boon, not boom. Boon to Indian economy. This is because India is rich in opportunities. Guys, now the intent was very well. Intent was very good. Knowledge was up to the mark, but without facts and data, it looks like a lumpy essay, right? Shanky Cool, I told you, I think this is the 10th time I'm saying you should not include any quotations from any person. Absolutely, Shanky. Mugging of facts is not a cakewalk, but it is the need of the hour. Now, if you want to be in the top 500 out of those 13,000 students, you'll have to do it. There's no point elaborating the schemes. Mentioning the schemes would be enough, Akash. So you don't need to elaborate the schemes. So every paragraph should have a different aspect. So just mention the schemes with their intended purpose. That would be more than enough. Right, guys? So, guys, we told you that these are the previous year topics. So you can understand basically, guys, that there are 3 verticals. Many students do ask me that, sir, how do we basically how to basically think of some particular topic, that okay, should we prepare facts for based on topics? No, guys, I'll give you 3 verticals to remember so that you can basically prepare your topics based on that. First vertical is, guys, static topics. Second vertical is, guys, finance and economy. And third vertical is, guys, social, rural, or agricultural issues. Now, guys, these are 3 verticals that you must look into. And guys, facts based on these 3 verticals are, they can be overlapping. So whatever fact I find about agricultural economy can also be used in any other topic based on social issues or rural economy. Anything, any topic, any fact I find on foreign direct investment can also be included in any other topic based on economy, right? So guys, prepare your facts and data according to these 3 verticals: static topics, finance and economy. Third is social, rural, and agricultural issues, right? So how to choose the topic on which you have the most factual information, most data, most statistics, and the most solid information about. Choose that topic and go for it. So guys, out of these 5 topics, for example, these were the topics which were given to you in the 2018 exam: measures to combat climate change, ways to improve financial literacy, sports as a career, risks in Indian banks, and technology in daily communication. Yes, you can expect 1 or 2 topics like this, Gokul. Obviously, he will try to lure you that, okay, when a student has not prepared well, he always finds the easiest topic. I hope you agree with me, right? So students who find the easiest topic on which they think that we only have to write 250 words and be done with it, you'll never be able to score good marks. So don't go for the easiest one, go for the one that you have prepared for the most, on the topic that you have the most factual information about. If you are if you have read well about Indian banks, NPAs, IBCs, you can write about this topic, right? If you have read about financial literacy, financial inclusion, you can write about this topic. So basically, there will be topics on different verticals, static, social issues, right? And then finance and economy based issues. How to recall the matter? You have to remember it, revise it afresh. So whatever you are going through right now, don't just read it, write it down in a notebook or somewhere so that you can revise it every day, so that you can remember it for the actual exam. These are almost general topic. Mansi, risks in Indian banks is not a general topic. Ways to improve financial literacy, it's not a general topic. If you write generally, you will score generally. I hope you understand what I mean. I think these 3 verticals are, I think, clear, Piyush. So any topic based on finance and economy, FDI, FII, GDP, economic growth, economic slowdown, all this finance and economy, social, rural, unemployment, palm laws, right? Women empowerment, rural disparity, right? Financial inclusion. So all these are social, rural, and agricultural issues. Static, pollution, population, climate change, greenhouse effect, all these are static topics, right? Yes, Gokul, for your exam, for guys, even if you are appearing for any stream, paper 1 will be same for all the streams. Please do remember that. So you will have to write, on any of these topics. So please prepare accordingly. I think more than 68, Akash, more than 67 or 68 would be required in English. I'm talking about in English. I cannot say about the second paper, paper 2, but in English at least 68 or 67 would be the cutoff this year, or maybe more, because there are too many students who are preparing for this. Yes, guys, so any more doubts, any further doubts if you have about essay writing, how to draft an essay, what to do, what to be done, what not to be done. So please, you're free to ask any doubts now. And guys, if you have any queries, please contact us on this number, or you can also drop us an email at this address. Yes, guys. So any other doubt, any other query if you have, and guys, please do let me know how was the session. Was it useful? Was it beneficial for you? Did you find it fruitful or not? And if you did, please like the session, guys. Please like and share it with others as well, so that anybody who's preparing may get benefited from it. Why general topics for IT guys like you? IT guys are not, newspapers are not for IT guys. You do not read news, you do not read schemes of the government. According to the marking structure, Mansi, I think you should be finished with your essay in 20 minutes. I think nothing more than 20 minutes can be or should be used for writing your essay. Yes, Gokul, tomorrow, guys, again, tomorrow at 9 p.m. there will be a session on Pressy writing, and then day after tomorrow there will be a session on reading comprehension. Tomorrow's session is about Pressy writing, Aman. Right, thank you, Shanki. Thank you, Shikha. Thank you, Gaurav. I hope this was useful. Thank you, Akash. And I hope this will benefit you in your preparation strategy, that how should you frame your essay. And guys, please, if you've been writing in any other way possible, please do try to change it. Do try to inculcate facts, data, statistics, reports and schemes in your essay. Otherwise, it will not fetch good marks. You may be able to crack the cutoff, or you may get near the cutoff by writing good English, but you will not be in the top 500. That I can guarantee you. So if you really want to understand what descriptive English means and what the requirement of this essay is, I think you should start looking into factual information. It would save time, it would fetch you more marks, and it will also reduce any mistakes or any typos that you could have made. So guys, it's a win-win situation for us. So start preparing your facts, your data, your statistics, and keep on working hard for this. Right, guys? So guys, if you like the session, please click on the like button. Please share it with others in any group whatsoever that you've joined, so that anybody who's preparing for this paper, this session may prove to be useful, may also prove to be useful for him. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining in and staying up with me for so late. I hope this session will provide you a better outlook towards your preparation strategy. Right, guys? And if you have any doubts or if you have any queries, I'll be there again tomorrow, and I'll be there again day after tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll be telling you the difference between a summary and a pressy. So guys, how many of you already know what's the difference between a summary and a pressy? Do you know the difference between a summary and a pressy? What is a summary and what is a pressy? So we'll be discussing that tomorrow. I'll be giving you the right way of drafting a pressy and the do's and don'ts of a pressy, structure of a pressy. Then I'll give you sample presses as well. So how does that sound? Sounds good? Yes, guys. Yeah, you are quite shy. You do not, most of you do not, chat. Only some of you have been typing, but not all. So, all right, guys, I'll take your leave for today. Let's call it a night. And yeah, I know there's a lot of confusion between summary and pressy, and there will be a lot of doubts. So we'll cover all those in tomorrow's session. I hope this helps you in your exam and in your life as well, right? So, all right, guys, see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. Good night, everyone. Take care and happy learning to all of you guys. And we will provide the PDF of this session on the Telegram channel, right? All right, guys. Thank you so much. Take care and have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.